A guide to holding your presence strong amidst unconscious influences. We live in a world that constantly seeks to pull us away from ourselves. Every moment, something competes for our attention: notifications, advertisements, opinions, expectations, fears, and desires. Most people are not even aware of how much they are controlled by forces beyond their conscious recognition. The unconscious influences shaping our emotions, decisions, and beliefs are vast, yet invisible, like an ocean's undercurrent that dictates the movement of a drifting boat. Have you ever asked yourself, am I truly the one in control of my life? Or am I merely reacting to what the world is throwing at me? To hold our presence strong amidst these unconscious forces, we must first understand what presence really is. Presence is not merely being physically in a place. Presence is the full awareness of one's being in this moment. It is the state in which you are neither lost in past memories nor caught in future anxieties, but entirely rooted in the here and now. It is the quality of being untouchable by external disturbances because you are not identified with them. You see them, but you do not become them. Most people are easily pulled into unconscious reactions because they have never developed the ability to observe their own thoughts and emotions. They do not recognize that their irritation, their stress, their desires are not truly theirs. They are simply patterns shaped by society, upbringing, media, and past experiences. The first step to maintaining presence is to become aware of what is influencing you. Take a moment and consider, how much of what I think is actually my own thought? How much of my emotions are inherited from those around me? You must begin by becoming the observer. The observer is the one who watches without getting caught. When someone speaks harshly to you, do you instantly react with anger? Or do you pause and notice the rising emotion without identifying with it? This simple pause is the beginning of mastery. The moment you can create space between stimulus and response, you are no longer a puppet of the external world, you are becoming a conscious being. Yet, the world does not want you to be conscious. It thrives on your unconsciousness. Marketing campaigns do not sell products, they sell emotions. They sell the feeling of security, of status, of desire. Political ideologies do not sell truth, they sell identity, belonging, division. Every system that profits from your unconscious behavior benefits from keeping you reactive rather than reflective. The moment you pause, observe, and choose instead of reacting automatically, you take back your power. Ask yourself, what in my daily life keeps me trapped in automatic reactions? The news, the people around me, the endless stream of digital content. Recognizing the chains is the first step to breaking free. But awareness alone is not enough. We must cultivate stillness. And stillness is not simply the absence of noise, it is the state of being untouchable by noise. You can sit in a completely silent room. Yet if your mind is restless, you are not truly still. Conversely, you can be in the middle of chaos. But if your inner state is undisturbed, you have attained true stillness. Stillness is presence in its purest form. It is the deep-rooted experience that no matter what storm rages around you, you remain grounded, like a mountain unaffected by the wind. How do we cultivate this? Through practice. The first practice is intentional disengagement. Set aside moments in your day where you do not allow external influences to shape your state of mind. Turn off your devices. Sit in silence. Observe the sensations within you. If discomfort arises, do not run from it. Instead, Sit with it. Let it dissolve under the weight of your awareness. The second practice is conscious breathing. Your breath is the gateway to presence. When the mind is racing, the breath becomes shallow and erratic. But when you take slow, deep, intentional breaths, you anchor yourself in the moment. With each inhale, feel yourself drawing awareness into your body. With each exhale, release the unconscious tensions built up from external influences. The third practice is watching without engaging. Throughout the day, observe how situations trigger you. When someone cuts you off in traffic, watch the surge of irritation arise but do not feed it. When you see an advertisement, observe the emotions it tries to provoke but do not identify with them. The more you practice watching without engaging, the more you strengthen your presence. The ultimate test of presence is in your relationships. Most people mirror the energy they receive. If someone is angry, they become defensive. If someone is sad, they become absorbed in the sadness. But true presence means standing as a pillar of awareness, unmoved by the emotional waves of others. It means seeing anger without responding in anger, seeing sadness without drowning in it. It means recognizing that you are not required to react just because something tries to provoke a reaction. But this is difficult, isn't it? It requires us to completely rewire the way we engage with life. And it raises a profound question: if I no longer react the way I used to, then who am I? This question is the gateway to true transformation. Because most people's identities are constructed entirely from their reactions. If you are not the one who gets annoyed, who gets stressed, who gets excited by advertisements, then who are you? If you strip away every conditioned reaction, what remains? The answer is presence. Pure, untouchable, unshakable presence. Most people fear this state because it demands letting go of everything they have identified with. But in reality, it is the most powerful state a human being can embody. Because a person who is fully present is free. They are not controlled by opinions. They are not manipulated by fears. They are not disturbed by external chaos. They move through the world like an ocean, deep, still, and immeasurable. And when we become such a person, we naturally influence others. Just as one candle can light 1,000 others without diminishing its own flame, one deeply present individual can bring clarity to a world lost in unconsciousness. So now, we arrive at a critical moment. Are you willing to step beyond reaction and into mastery? Or will you continue being controlled by forces you do not even recognize? The choice is yours. The unseen battle for your attention: how to reclaim your mind from manipulation. Every moment of your life, there is a battle happening, not a battle of fists or weapons, but a battle for your attention. Your mind is the most valuable asset you own. And yet, the modern world has turned it into a battlefield where corporations, media, social norms, and unconscious forces fight for control. If you are not actively guarding your presence, you are being shaped by forces you do not even see. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to sit in silence without reaching for your phone? Have you ever wondered why so many people feel anxious when they have no external stimulation? It is because their awareness has been hijacked. They no longer control their own mind, it is being programmed by a constant stream of external noise. And they do not even realize it. Now, let's ask the uncomfortable question: who actually owns your mind? If the answer is you, then why do you struggle to be alone with your own thoughts? Why do you feel restless when there is nothing to distract you? Why do you find yourself scrolling endlessly even when you know it adds nothing to your life? The reality is, most people are not the owners of their own minds. Their attention has been fragmented, scattered, divided among thousands of things that have no real meaning. Every click, every advertisement, every notification is another hook pulling their awareness in a different direction. And the more fragmented your attention becomes, the weaker your presence is. Because presence is focus. Presence is the ability to direct your awareness where you choose, rather than having it stolen from you. To reclaim our minds, we must first see how deeply we have been conditioned. The moment you wake up, what is the first thing you do? Do you take a deep breath and feel the presence of your own being? Or do you reach for your phone and immediately consume external input? Most people do the latter. And in doing so, they unconsciously hand over control of their minds to the outside world before they have even had a moment to ground themselves in their own presence. To break free, we must rewire our relationship with attention itself. And this begins with a fundamental shift: stop consuming mindlessly. Start observing intentionally. The first step is breaking the addiction to external input. Spend 1 hour a day in complete silence. No music. No social media. No conversations, just you. Sitting with your own mind. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your mind will resist. It will demand stimulation. But this resistance is proof of how deeply you have been conditioned. Do not run from it, observe it. Watch the discomfort arise and simply sit with it. Over time, you will realize that the mind's craving for distraction is not real. It is a habit. And habits can be broken. The second step is reclaiming your focus through deep work. In a world designed to break your concentration, focus is power. Choose one task, one thought, or one action, and commit to it fully. When you read, just read. When you walk, just walk. When you speak with someone, be fully present with them. Notice how difficult this is at first. Your mind will want to jump. It will want to check notifications, to think about something else, to escape. But again, do not run, observe. The third step is detoxifying your information diet. Your mind is shaped by what it consumes. If you feed it constant noise, fear, and distraction, it will reflect that. If you feed it depth, wisdom, and stillness, it will reflect that too. So ask yourself, what am I feeding my mind daily? Are you consuming content that expands your awareness? Or are you consuming content that keeps you locked in reaction? Are you surrounding yourself with ideas that challenge and elevate you? Or are you drowning in information designed to make you passive? What would happen if you stopped engaging with anything that does not serve your highest awareness? Most people will never ask themselves this question, because they are too afraid of the answer. The truth is, the world does not want you to have mastery over your own mind. It thrives on keeping you reactive, distracted, and controlled. Because a reactive mind is easy to manipulate. A distracted person does not question. A scattered attention does not see reality clearly. But when you reclaim your attention, you reclaim your power. Imagine walking through the world completely present, completely grounded in your own awareness. Imagine being in a room full of people, each one lost in unconscious reactions. Yet you remain still, observant, untouchable. Imagine seeing how easily people are manipulated, not because they are weak, but because they have never learned to control their own minds. And now imagine that you are no longer one of them. Presence is a superpower in a world that profits from your unconsciousness. When you learn to hold it, you become unshakable. But there is still one final challenge. Once you reclaim your presence, how do you maintain it in a world that constantly seeks to take it from you? This brings us to the final step. Mastering your inner state, how to remain unshakable in a world of chaos. The world will not change for you. It will not become quieter. It will not suddenly respect your peace. It will not stop trying to pull you back into unconsciousness. If you are waiting for the world to become easier before you hold your presence, you will wait forever. Mastering presence does not mean escaping chaos, it means standing in the middle of it and remaining untouched. It means carrying stillness within you, so that no matter where you are, no matter what happens around you, you remain grounded, aware, and in control of your own being. So, how do we achieve this? The final stage of mastering presence is understanding that the world itself is neutral. Nothing has power over you unless you grant it. Think about the last time you got angry. What caused it? Was it truly the situation? Or was it your interpretation of it? Think about the last time you felt anxious. Was it truly the future? Or was it the story your mind created about it? The moment you recognize that all external situations only have the meaning that you give them, you become free. This is not about becoming numb. It is about realizing that you do not have to let the world dictate your inner state. A reactive person sees an event and immediately assigns meaning to it. Someone cuts them off in traffic. That person is rude. They are being disrespected. Someone criticizes them. They feel attacked. Insecure. The news reports something frightening. They feel powerless. Afraid. But a present person sees the same event and does not attach to it. Someone cuts them off in traffic. It happens. Someone criticizes them. That is their perspective. Not mine. The news reports something frightening. The world is what it is, I will respond with awareness. Not fear. The key to maintaining presence is non-resistance. Resistance is what creates suffering. It is not pain itself, but our resistance to pain that makes it unbearable. It is not external noise, but our resistance to the noise that disturbs us. The moment we stop resisting, we become fluid like water. Nothing can truly disturb us because we are not in conflict with what is. When someone insults you, the natural reaction is to defend yourself. But what if you simply allowed the words to pass through you, without reacting? What if you saw them as just sounds, empty and meaningless unless you choose to assign meaning? When the world is in chaos, the natural reaction is to panic, to become anxious. But what if you simply observed? What if you acknowledged what is happening, but refused to let it control your emotional state? Presence is not about avoiding life. It is about meeting life with such deep awareness that nothing can shake you. So, how do we train this? The first practice is radical acceptance. Accept everything exactly as it is in this moment. Not as you wish it to be. Not as it should have been. But as it is. Feel the weight of this moment fully. Let go of any internal argument with reality. This does not mean you do not take action. It means that you take action from a place of clarity rather than resistance. The second practice is becoming the observer of your own mind. Throughout the day, watch your thoughts as if they were clouds passing in the sky. Do not judge them. Do not attach to them. Simply see them and let them go. The moment you realize that you are not your thoughts, but the awareness watching them, you step into a higher level of consciousness. The third practice is finding stillness in movement. It is easy to be present when meditating in silence. But can you be present in the middle of a crowded street? Can you be still while walking, working, engaging with people? Real mastery is not found in isolation, it is found in remaining deeply aware in the busiest, loudest, most challenging environments. And finally, the most advanced practice, letting go of identity itself. Most people are trapped not by the world, but by their idea of who they think they are. They define themselves by their past, their achievements, their failures, their labels. But all of these are illusions. Who are you without your name? Who are you without your history? Who are you without your beliefs? If all these things disappeared, what remains? This is the ultimate presence, pure awareness. Beyond identity. Beyond the stories of the mind. When you reach this state, nothing external can move you. Because there is no longer a you to be moved. There is only presence. Witnessing everything. Attached to nothing. This is the deepest freedom. And the greatest challenge. Because the world will test you. It will try to pull you back into identification. It will tempt you with distractions. It will provoke reactions. It will feed your mind with noise, trying to reclaim control. But now you know the truth. You know that you do not have to react. You know that you do not have to attach. You know that no one can control your inner state unless you allow them. So the question is no longer can I hold my presence? The question is, will I choose to? Every moment, you have this choice. Every moment, you decide whether to be fully present or to be lost in unconsciousness. And the more you choose presence, the stronger it becomes. Until one day, presence is no longer something you practice, it is simply what you are. And when that day comes, nothing in this world will ever have power over you again.